everyone, welcome to the next video in our Rita Berman Europa series using the Polychromos pencils. We have this very cute building house, I guess, or selection of houses to colour today. I'm having a little think, just as I'm talking to you about colours. I was going to just reach for the grey for the roofs, but as they're stripy, I'm thinking, should we do something a little bit different? A little bit more bright and cheerful. So I was wondering whether to do a sort of blue and red striped roof just for something different, because I usually just do them boring, should we say. So maybe there's nothing wrong with boring, I don't know. So I've grabbed the cobalt blue, which I'm going to use for one stripe. Now with the roof sloping up, I'm thinking it would be a little bit darker at the bottom. Just because the top part's nearer to the sun, so I'm gonna just do it like that, okay, and then every other one, and we'll do it red. I don't know why blue and red just come to me. You can do whatever you like. You could do 2 shades of grey if you want it a bit more traditional, maybe is the word I'm looking for. I don't really know what word I'm looking for. So lightly there. Then we have this one. You see, this made me think of a sort of shutter, not a shutter, a blind, you know, awning type thing, but obviously it isn't really because there's a building under it, but I thought we would sort of colour it so that bit I'm just going to do the same as this bit here. You know, Rita's drawn it in a stripe, so I think she wants it to be 2 different colours. There we go. Now I want a sort of reddish colour that's going to work. I think one of the more dull reds, this is the, oops, oh, this doesn't want to come out of the tray. This is the pompeian red. It's little, and I think it will work with this blue. It's a sort of more pinky red, which I think is quite attractive. It's a bit less brash than the sort of scarlets and things, so I rather like it. No, scarlet has its place, but I don't know, I think it just works with this blue. Now behind here we have what looks like clouds, but they could be tops of trees. I haven't decided yet whether to do them as if they're green, but I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be clouds. Now we need to do the edges of here and these roof edges. I'm wondering whether to do a sort of purple, which is like a mix of the blue and the red, but those two, that blue and red, wouldn't really make a purple. Something that's going to match them both. What about a delft blue? That might work. Will it? Would it? I'm going to try it. Don't copy me until you've looked at it and decided if you like it. I'm not going to do it really hard, just a bit. I'm not sure. I'm still not sure. So on these ones, I'm keeping my delft blue in my hand. I'm going to be daring, and then just sort of fade it upwards. So we've still got some colour, but it's darker at the bottom. And then the same here. I just sent a friend a photo of the canal walk that we'd done. She lives in the USA. She asked me if we had any snakes. Luckily in the UK we only have 3 native breeds of snake, and only one of them is venomous, and they're very, very rare to find them. They're grass snakes, smooth snakes and adders or vipers. Now in my town we have an old cemetery which is no longer used for burials as far as I'm aware, and it's a nature reserve because there's a lot of greenery. It's a very peaceful, pretty place. It's quite wild. there's a sort of area with lots of trees with no actual graves, where you can just walk for quiet contemplation. It's rather nice. And I'm just thinking about house colour. I've got an idea. I'm going to go with this, a violet. I'm still not sure it's going to match the roofs though. Should we go for yellow? Cream. So how many times is she going to change your mind? Cream. So I'm going to do all the main bits of houses in this. I need to sharpen it. So apparently there are adders there, and they're often spotted sitting on the gravestones, sunning themselves. But I've never heard of anyone having a bite. I'm not a big fan of snakes in any sense. I just can't. I find it hard even colouring a picture with a snake in. But yeah, we don't really have them. Now, I know along the canal, a friend of mine who's lived in Stroud longer than me, in where we are, the town where we live, she said that when she first moved here, she saw one by the canal. But since our houses were built and lots of other houses around here, they've just disappeared because it's just too noisy. I'm not sure what to do with this because there isn't one on here. Ah, that's the house. That's the house behind, isn't it? This is a little porch in front, so this is a bit of this. But no, so we don't really see them. I did see a slow worm once, and it looks like a snake, and I was a bit frightened. It's the second time I've seen one in my life. I saw one on a hill walk once, and I screamed, and there were lots of people around, and I was about 25 and I was with my parents, and they were absolutely appalled at how I behaved. I thought it was a snake. But anyway, the second time I saw one, I was on my own, and because I was a mum by then, you get used to being you have to be a bit braver. You know, you don't want to show your kids your fears. So, and they weren't with me, but I was a bit braver and I didn't scream. I just had to step over it. This is the light yellow glaze. I'm going to use it to add a little bit of shadows on my... So because this one is set back from here, I'm going to put a little bit here and underneath here. I don't know how much it's really going to show up being as it's yellow, but I'm going to give it a go. Yeah, so I had to step over it, but I could have turned and gone a different way because I was right on an area where the canal is near the road, but I was brave and I stepped over it and I carried on walking, and I was, you know, but because I knew what it was, that it wasn't actually a snake. I'm going to do these bits in a sort of browny yellow, I think. I want a slightly different tone. So I'm going to use this, this is the dark Naples ochre. And I'm going to use it for this bottom part here. Make it just a tad darker where it's near the near this building, and then a bit lighter. I don't want to make it too dark, and I'm going to do the bricks. You might not be keen on this colour. You know, I traditionally do houses in like the cinnamon and things like that, but just wanted to do something a bit different. So bricks, and this window box I'm also going to do with this colour. Make it a little bit darker under there, and then this one darker under the plant. It's a very bushy plant, isn't it? So no, in conclusion to my little story, we don't really get snakes along the canal path, luckily. But yeah, I can see why it would be. I'm wondering whether to do, and I think I'll use a different colour for the window frames. Now the steps, this bit. Let's just do it quite lightly. Now stairs, should that be that bit behind there? Stairs are tricky. I'm just going to do them really lightly. Now we have to think about the shape of them. We're looking flat on to a step. This one would be further away from us than this one, and this one be closest. So I'm thinking if I do this one darker, then this one slightly lighter, and keep that one light, it might help to give that illusion. Also, it's going to be darker at the bottom than the top. I don't think that's really worked particularly well. But anyway, chimney. I'm going to go back to my cream. There we go, for this piece. There. And then use the dark Naples ochre for the top part. Again, not too dark, like that. Now our frames, door frame, window frame, are slightly darker. So we can use this light yellow ochre for that. So I'm just going to go around here. This one I'm going to pop it in there around the frame. We've got a little window above our door. Oh, I didn't do those bricks, did I? I'll keep my finger by them to remind me. Not sure if that'll work. And this little window here. Yeah, they were in, oops, the bricks should be in the dark Naples ochre. There we go. Now, through the windows, I think it's always quite nice to have a bright, welcoming light rather than making them grey and sort of reflecting the light. So I think, oops, I'm going to use the, is that the dark cadmium yellow? Yeah, or deep, is it called deep or dark? Dark cadmium yellow. And I'm going to layer it up a bit so that it stands out, so we can see there's light rather than it being the colour of the house, because it's a different type of yellow. Hopefully it looks like we're looking into the light. I'm really going to just make that quite intense. Okay, I'm just seeing what we've done and what we haven't done. We haven't done the door. Now I'm thinking we could do the door to match one of the two roof colours, either the blue or the red. I think I'm going to use the red. So this was the, oh yeah, it was the pompeian red. You know, I don't use the pompeian red that much in videos. Should I tell you why? Because I can't spell it. And when I have to do the, I'm colouring over the handle because it's too small. When I write out in my description what pencils I've used, I have to think hard. I think I spell it wrong anyway. It's spelt quite strangely on the pencil itself. No, it's not. Pompeian. Pompeian. Quite difficult, I think, to spell. Anyway, I'm not that good at spelling. There we go. Now we have some greenery to do. Now, I'm going to grab this green, whoops, to start with. This is the leaf green, and I'm going to use it for these, for the base of these. So I'm going to just put a bit down here and then fade it a bit, and we'll put another colour on the tip. And we'll do that through. And we'll do the same on that one down there as well. I think they look slightly different, but I think it's nice to match them up. I'm not sure about that, whether I'm going to do it the same or not. I'll have a think. Okay, and I'm going to grab a lighter green. The lightest, green, is the light green. So just colour in the tip and sort of blend it over the whole thing, really. That's what I'm going to do, keep it really simple. It's quite a nice, just general mid-green that sort of matches most things, I think, these. It's not bluey, it's not olive, yeah, it's just mid. Now we have this. I'm going to draw over those dots first. I'm thinking... I was thinking I could use the colour I've used already, but then I was thinking, would it be blue? Don't really get blue flowers, not a lot, on a bush. We could use red, but we've already used red again for the door. We could use a purpley colour. Let's introduce a slightly different new colour. I don't always like doing that. I tend to like to keep to a more limited colour scheme, but I'm going to use the middle purple pink. And just, I'm really going to put a very intense splodge here. Now I'm doing this because I'm going to colour over this with my green because it's very small. I know that if I burnish it down hard enough, when I say hard, I'm not pushing it, making a dent in the paper, I'm layering it up. If I burnish it down with enough layers, the green won't affect it, and I know these pencils don't smudge. I'm going to use a layer of light green first. I'm going to use the same two greens as I have for the leaves, but I'm just going to use a layer of light green, and then I'm going to put some of the dark green on top at the bottom. I think it'll be easier this way around. It doesn't really matter. So this is the leaf green we used before, and I'm just going to put, I want it at the bottom where I think it would be a bit darker. And then I'm just going to sort of fade it up. So just put a few layers down here and then a bit less as you go up into the bush, like that. Just going to go over that a little bit, and then I'm going to grab the light green again and go over that. Take it a little bit higher. I don't want to put any more up the top there. I want that to be quite pale so that you can just see that there are different colours in it. Now we have dots of shadow under here as if there's pavement. You could just leave that because we haven't done anything anywhere else where we've put any sort of backgroundy bits. But I'm just going to grab a grey. A warm grey, this is warm grey 4, and just put a little bit down, just in there, maybe a little bit there, and around here, just to, you know, get that shadow in. And now we have these cloud trees. I'm thinking, I know, we'll make them clouds, we'll do them, we're going to use the same grey, that, yeah, we'll use the cold grey, the warm grey 4, because I'm thinking clouds can be quite more of a browny grey. You don't want a real brown, but a slightly grey. I'm going to make them lighter towards the top, I think. Often when I observe clouds, the black bit, the grey bit tends to be at the bottom, and then the top can be a bit lighter. In fact, sometimes the top is completely white, where the sun's catching it. But I'm going to do them all the same with a bit of grey. That one I haven't gone right to the edge. We go quite a bit of grey at the bottom, and then less. It's probably wise to use a circular motion to emphasise that fluffy roundedness, which obviously clouds aren't always, but they can be. Now, although this one's behind, I'm doing it a bit lighter. Because this is a higher up part of the cloud compared to that one, but I think it's okay. We don't need to worry too much about shadows. Now what you could do now is you could get your Posca and you could draw over all those lines to make it look whiter. I think I'll have a go. I'm not sure how much it's going to show up, but I'm just going to go over these curved lines that Rita has drawn in. For some of them it might just erase it and you might not see the white pen. It sort of depends how close to the top, and I can do these dots all show up a bit. Oh, let's try and hold the page still while I do this. And this one as well. There we go. I don't think I want white anywhere else. There are dots down here, but these are more to show the shadow, which I think that one was really as well, but I've put white on it now. But I think I'm happy with that. There we go. Oh, there's a little bit I've just noticed here of dots, but I'm not doing, I think if I put some grey there it'd look quite strange, so I'm just going to leave it there. So there's our little house. I think it doesn't look very English, that's for sure, but I think we're in Venice. Oh. Let me just look back. Yeah, we've got the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Yeah, we're in Venice. So perhaps I should have looked up what houses in Venice look like, but there we go. This one's cream with a stripy roof. So that is that. Yeah, that's me for today. So thank you for watching. Hope that was okay. Have a super day. Yeah, happy colouring.